Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen nabiyyina Muhammadi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'du. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In today's lecture, slightly different. What I wanted to share with you is something quite horrific, somewhat quite frightening, but a reality, and we would be irresponsible as individuals who teach and study the Sharia not to share these types of narrations with you. I've aptly labeled it Screams from Beyond the Grave, because in reality that's exactly what it is. The hadith I'm going to narrate to you is found in Sahih al-Bukhari and in numerous other books of hadith. And so I will narrate this to you and explain what's going on in this quite remarkable but frightening hadith at the same time. وبه قال حدثنا موسى بن إسماعيل قال حدثنا جرير بن حازم قال حدثنا أبو رجاء عن سمرة بن جندب قال كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا صلى صلاة أقبل علينا بوجهه. When the Prophet of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم used to pray salah, he would turn towards us. So when he would pray Fajr salah, he would turn towards the companions and he would say فقال من رأى منكم الليلة رؤيا, which one of you had seen a dream during this night? So if one of us had seen a dream, we narrate it. Because why dreams? Because dreams are means of inspiration. Even though revelation ceased with the Prophet of Allah ﷺ leaving the surface of the earth, the inspiration remained. Well, it is reported it is up to 1/60th of prophecy or 1/60th of revelation. So good dreams which can be interpreted by experts, can obviously lead one to predict or prophesize the future. However, it's beyond the remit of today's discussion. I would require numerous hours to explain that. Maybe that's something I could look at another date, inshallah. So we would narrate it if we had seen a dream, mashallah. فَسَأَلْنَا يَوْمًا. So he asked us one day, again the same question. فَقَالَ هَلْ رَأَى أَحَدٌ مِّنْكُمُ الرُّؤْيَا. Has any one of you seen a dream? قُلْنَا لَا. We said no. قَالَ لَكِنِّي رَأَيْتُ لَيْلَةَ رَجُلَيْنِ. However, in this case, the Prophet ﷺ himself narrated a dream. Rather than a dream, this was obviously, we find out later that this was a real physical occasion. So he said, I saw last night, رَأَيْتُ رَجُلَيْنِ أَتَيَانِ. Two men came to me, فَأَخَذَا. They took me بِيَدِي, by my hand, فَأَخْرَجَانِي إِلَى الْأَرْضِ الْمُقَدَّسَةِ. And they took me to the Muqaddasa, yani where we find Baytul Maqdis, the Muqaddasa, the Holy Land, as it's referred to, the pure land. This would be the where the Masjid al-Aqsa region is. فَإِذَا رَجُلٌ جَالِسٌ. The first thing I saw when I arrived, obviously this would be now that he's reached that point and then ascended into a different domain. فَإِذَا رَجُلٌ جَالِسٌ وَرَجُلٌ قَائِمٌ. I saw two men. One man sat down, another man stood. بِيَدِهِ كَلُّوبٌ. And in his hand was what looked like a hook. Okay, so he had a hook in his hand. And this hook was كَلُّوبٌ min hadid. This hook was made of iron. قال بعض أصحابنا عن موسى أنه يدخل ذلك كلوب في شدقه حتى يثلغ قفاه. So then we have the Rawi mentioning something that this hook was placed in this man. So the man who stood up has got a hook in his hand. The man who sat down, he places this hook in his mouth. Okay. And what he does is that he pulls it. He rips it until you have that Cheshire smile. He rips it until this cheek tears. And this person obviously is feeling that pain. This cheek tears until this hook continues to rip his face until it reaches the back, kafahu, until it reaches his nape. So his full face is ripped. Now, this person is experiencing this pain. So you can imagine he's screaming, he's shouting, he's kicking. Okay, he's experiencing great pain. This being ripped apart, blood spurting out. Okay, flesh tearing. This is going to be really painful. It's going to be a sight, very disgusting to see. ثُمَّ يَفْعَلُ بِشِدْقِهِ الْآخَرِ. Then when this is all ripped, okay, the flesh is hanging, the cheek is hanging, and he's bleeding, and he's in pain, and he's probably passing out due to the excessive pain. This person just doesn't give up then. He then goes to the other side, and he places this hook on that side of the mouth, and he starts to rip his mouth on this side, until again he rips all his cheek, and it reaches the back of his nape. So you would think that would be painful enough, مثل ذلك, in a similar way. You would think that is enough, that this person, the pain this person is feeling. وَيَلْتَئِمُ شِدْقُهُ هَذَا فَيَعُودُ. So this cheek then Okay, it goes back to the way it was before. So both cheeks return, okay, to how it was. The cheeks return to how it was. Both cheeks, so his face is now returned. He's experienced that pain. His face is now returned. He thinks that's it, it's over. Okay. فَيَسْنَأُ مِثْلَهُ. So they do the same thing again. Takes it, rips his cheek until it comes on the other side. Rips his cheek until it comes the other side. Okay. Tears his face continuously. So can you imagine the pain he's feeling this continuously? So I asked at that time, Qultu ma hadha? What's going on here? What's this man stood up for? What's his crime? What's going on? Why is this person torturing him? Qala intalik fantalakna. They said, let's move along. And so we did. Hatta atayna ala rajulin muttaji'in ala qafahu wa rajulun qa'imun ala ra'si bifihrin aw sakhratin fayashdagu bihi ra'sahu. Then we moved on, and now we came across to another man. And there's one man who's lying on the ground, flat on the ground, his feet out in front of him, on his back, with his nape on the ground, his head on the ground. And there's another man who stood above him. Okay, so if he looks up, you can see the man's face, who stood behind him, his feet on either side of his shoulders, stood with a huge boulder in his hand. Okay, huge boulder he's holding, this man lying. And what he does is, yashdahu bi ra'sahu, he launches it and smashes this guy's skull like a watermelon across the floor. Okay, you can imagine the pain that man went through. First, the fear of this guy who holding this huge boulder above him. Then obviously the pain he felt there. فَإِذَا ضَرَبَهُ تَدَحْدَهُ. So when he does that, تَدَحْدَ الْحَجَرُ. When he does that, the rock rolls off, obviously, because he's used almighty force to bring it crashing down on this man's skull. It's been come with such force that the man's skull is like exploded like a watermelon, and then it rolls off. فَانْطَلَقَا إِلَيْهِ لِيَأْخُذَهُ. So he goes then to pick this up, to go pick this rock up. In the meantime, فَلَا يَرْجُ إِلَى هَذَا حَتَّى يَلْتَئِمَ رَأْسُهُ وَعَادَ رَأْسُهُ. Until his face then returns, okay, to how it was. So it's gone through all the pain and it's gone through all the severity, and it returns to the way it was. كَمَا هُوَ فَعَادَ إِلَيْهِ. And this person starts this process again, crushing this rock down on his skull. فَضَرَبَهُ. So again I ask this question, what's going on here? Man hada? Who's this person? What's going on? Why is he being put through severe torture and severe pain? Qala intalik fantalakna. Again they said the same thing and said, let's move along. This time when they move along, they go towards a thaqbin mithla tanur, a hole in the ground, or a hole which obviously is like a tanur. A tanur here is like an oven basically, or as we will know it as a tandoor, an oven. A'lahu dhayyikun wa asfaluhu wasi'un. Its top part is somewhat constraint, meaning the diameter is less than the bottom part. A bit like a vase, or those of you of the science persuasion, a conical flask. Wasi'un yawaqqadu tahtahu naran, and there's a fire burning beneath this oven. Let's call it an oven. فَإِذَا اقْتَرَبَ ارْتَفَعُوا. So when the fire burns somewhat, the what's inside it bubbles up, and we'll know from soon that there's humans inside this oven. Until it boils up, حَتَّى كَادَ أَن يَخْرُجُوا, until they're literally going to boil it over. A bit like when you put milk on a stove in a pan and you turn the heat up when you're supposedly warming it up on, and then when it starts to get hot, it starts to rise, and if you don't control the heat underneath it, it's going to spill over the top of the pan. So we turn it down. It's the same thing here. فَإِذَا خَمَدَتْ رَجَعُوا فِيهَا. So when they turn the heat down, then they fall back down here. وَفِيهِ رِجَالٌ وَنِسَاءٌ أُرَى. And in here, there are naked men and women. فَقُلْتُ. So again I asked, مَنْ هَذَا? Who are these people? What's going on here? What's their crime? قال انطلق. They said, let's move along. فَانْطَلَقْنَا حَتَّى أَتَيْنَا عَلَى نَهْرٍ مِنْ دَمٍ. Next, as we move along, we come across this river, and this river is made of blood. So it's just blood basically, okay? So you can imagine the smell of blood, the iron smell, the taste. Okay, you can try to visualize this. In there's a rajulun qa'imun. There's a man stood on the bank, ala wasati nahri, on the bank of this river, and inside there's a chap. Wakala Yazid wa Wahb ibn Jarir ibn Hazim wa ala shatti nahri. So again, there's a different narrator who says it slightly differently than the other narrator had said. Rajulun bayna yadayhi hijaratun. فأقبل رجل الذي في النهر. So this man who's on the side of the bank has lots of pebbles piled up in front of him, and there's a chap who's in the river, this blood river. So when the chap who's in the river, إذا أراد أن يخرج, when he intends to come out, because obviously how long can you stay in a river for? You swim, your arms get tired, he wants to get out. Obviously he's taking in blood now. Remember, it's not just taking in water, he's taking in blood. It's going in his nostrils, it's going in his eyes, it's going in his ears. It's disgusting. So he wants to get out. But as he attempts to get out, رَمَى رَجُلُ بِحَجَرٍ فِي فِي, the man who's on the bank, obviously when he can't throw that far. So when he's in the middle of the river, okay, the one that we mentioned, when he's in the middle of the river, he can't throw the pebbles into his mouth from where he is because he's too far. Okay, but when he starts to swim out and he gets to the banks, now he's closer. So this person can easily, and obviously the target practice is he can throw pebbles inside his mouth. So he starts throwing pebbles inside his mouth. Now obviously as this man's taking in pebbles, then his mouth's getting full. And when you're already struggling for breath when you're swimming, the last thing you need is a mouthful of stones. So when he realizes that I can't get out whilst this person is throwing pebbles at me, so he needs to swim back in order to spit out these pebbles. So he swims back out of distance from the one who's throwing stones, and then he spits this out. فَجَعَلَ كُلَّ مَا جَعَلَ لِيَخْرُجَ رَمَامِ فِي فِيهِ بِحَجَرٍ فَيَرْجِعُ كَمَا كَانَ. So he returns back. So, this process continues. He spits it all out. He's taking in blood. His arms are burning now. He wants to get out this river. As soon as he attempts to come out, at the riverbank, they're throwing pebbles. And the same scenario continues. فَقُلْتُ مَا هَذَا? Again, I asked the question, what's going on here? قَالَ انطلق. They said, let's move along. فانطلقنا حتى انتهينا إلى روضة خضراء فيها شجرة عظيمة. We then went on until we reached this beautiful meadow, this beautiful scene, beautiful greenery and trees, and looked absolutely fantastic. And right in the middle of this meadow, there's this huge shajaratun azima, huge tree in the middle. وَفِي أَصْلِهَا شَيْخٌ وَصِبْيَانٌ. And in the middle of this, at the root of this tree, basically, right at the bottom of this tree, at the base of this tree, is an elderly gentleman. And there's some children playing around. وَإِذَا رَجُلٌ قَرِيبٌ مِنَ الشَّجَرَةِ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ نَارٌ. And near this tree, there's another chap. And this chap has got a fire burning in front of him. يُوقِدُهَا. And he's kindling this fire. He's ensuring this fire continues to burn. فَصَعِدَا. So we ascended, the two ascended. فَصَعِدَا بِي, with me. They took me with them. فِي الشَّجَرَةِ, on this tree. So we started to rise on this tree. وَأَدْخَلَانِ دَارًا. And they asked me to enter, and entered me into an abode on this, somewhere above these, as we are ascending. لَمْ أَرَى قَدْتُ أَحْسَنُ مِنْهَا. I have never seen anything as fantastic as that abode. It was absolutely amazing. فِيهَا رِجَالٌ شُيُوخٌ وَشَبَابٌ وَنِسَاءٌ وَصِبْيَانٌ. In there were men, elderly people, young people, women, children. ثُمَّ أَخْرَجَانِي. And then they took me out from this minha. They took me out from this abode, this beautiful abode, which had all these people in it. And فَصَعِدَا بِي الشَّجَرَةَ. So they ascended, so we ascended further along this tree. فَصَعِدَا بِالشَّجَرَةَ. So we further went up. فَأَدْخَلَانِ دَارًا. So we again entered into a new abode. Here, أَحْسَنُ وَأَفْضَلُ فِيهَا. That was even better and more fantastic compared to the one that we just come out from. شيوخ وشباب. I saw elderly people in there, young people in there. قلت توفتماني الليلة فأخبراني عما رأيت. Today you've shown me, or rather tonight you've shown me, you've taken me around, and I've seen some amazing things, some quite horrific things, some quite fantastic things. Tell me what it is that I saw today. قال, they said, نعم, yes, we will explain to you exactly what you were witness today. أما الذي رأيته يشق شدقه فكذاب يحدث بالكذبة فتحمل عنه حتى تبلغ الآفاق فيصنع به ما رأيت إلى يوم القيامة. As for the first person you saw, remember way back, the man sat down with the man behind him with the hook in his mouth, tearing his mouth open. He was a liar. He would speak with lies. And then this would be reached so far that it would reach the horizons. So this will be done to him, what you saw, what you experienced, what you observed, up until the day of judgment. So that shows the frighteningness of lying. We have a bad habit. We don't control our tongues. We just speak thinking there's no consequences. These are the consequences that person will suffer. والذي رأيته يشدخ رأسه فرجل علمه الله القرآن فنام عنه بالليل ولم يعمل به بالنهار. And then a threat and a warning to those of us who are students of the Sharia, those of us who have dedicated some time to learn the deen. It's this man here, the one whose head was being exploded by the rock. He was that person who had Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him the Quran and by extension the deen. And he used to sleep at night. He did not used to recite it. And during the day he did not act according to it. This will be done to him up until the day of judgment. So if this is done to the person who actually dedicated some time and then was not sincere, was not constant on his deen, then what about that person who did not even take the time out to study? وَالَّذِي رَأَيْتُ فِي الثَّقْبِ فَهُمُ الزُّنَاتِ. As for those men and women that you saw burning inside the stove, burning inside the oven, well, they were people who had committed zina rather, zani. There were zanis, they had committed zina, and therefore what you saw, that will be done to them up until the day of judgment, or by extension, that's how we understand, even though the narration itself does not mention that in Bukhari. وَالَّذِي رَأَيْتُ فِي النَّهْرِ. As for that person you saw in the river, آكِلُ الرِّبَا. He would consume riba, and by extension money through illegal means, doing people over, fraud, like the way people commit fraud. وَالشَّيْخُ فِي أَصْلِ الشَّجَرَةِ. And the man who you saw at the base of the tree, that was Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. And those children around him, وَالسِّبْيَانُ حَوْلَهُ فَأَوْلَادُ النَّاسِ. They are the children of the people. And we know also from the book that we're just studying at the moment, is that these are the children of the mushrikeen, or those children who died, by extension even the Muslims, those who had died without reaching bulugh. وَالَّذِي يُوقِظُ النَّارَ Malik. As for that person you saw kindling the fire, that was Malik, خَازِنُ النَّارِ, the guardian of Jahannam. وَالدَّارُ الْأُولَى. And the first or Darul Ula, the first abode you went to, the first place you went to, Allati dakhalta Daru Amatil Mu'minin. That is the abode of the general people, the general Muslims that will die. They will go there. Wa amma hadhihi dar. As for this dar that you are in now, the one which you found to be afzal, the one which you found to be ahsan, then this is the dar of the shuhada. And as for me, I am Ana Jibreel wa hadha Mikail. Farfa ra'sak. Now raise your head. They said to the Prophet of Allah, now raise your head. فَرَفَعْتُ رَأْسِي. So I raised my head. فَإِذَا فَوْقِي. So I looked above me, مِثْلُ السَّحَابِ. And they seemed like a distant cloud, so high up into the sky. قَالَا. There he said, ذَاكَ مَنْزِلُكَ. This is your abode. So when the Prophet of Allah saw that, قُلْتُ. I said, دَعَانِي. Leave me. أَدْخُلْ مَنْزِلِي. Let me enter my abode. قَالَا. They said, no, إِنَّهُ بَقِيَ لَكَ عُمَرٍ. You still have some time to live. لَمْ تَسْتَكْمِلْهُ. You've not completed your time. فَلَوْ اسْتَكْمَلْتَ. Once your time is complete, أَتَيْتَ مَنْزِلَكَ. You will then enter your abode. So my dear brothers and sisters, we can see that the actions we commit in this world, whether they be good, as we saw the abode of the Amatul Muslimin and of the Shuhada, we will be rewarded amply and equally and beyond, or whether it be the sins that we commit, the pain that we will feel in barzakh, as we will hear the screams beyond the grave. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.